Do you ever get lost inside of a poem where you don't exactly know what it's talking about, but you love it anyways? She names the sky her own. Good morning. Welcome to Lost for Words. I am Sarah Woods, and we are continuing to explore great women poets, continuing with Miss Maya Angelou. Today we are going to be jumping into one of her poems. It's called Black Ode, and it's a poem that has some interesting contrast, and I feel like it has a lot of energy and interesting images to sort of dwell in, but it's one that I don't completely understand. But I guess that's part of the joy of poetry. You don't have to completely understand it to enjoy it. Sometimes it's that there's so much there to discover, and that there's mystery there that leaves things open to continue to discover, that it's not all figured out right when you sit down to explore it. So this poem, I'm gonna just go ahead and jump in and read it to you. It is page 41. It's called Black Ode in the Complete Poetry of Maya Angelou. Here we go. Black Ode. Your beauty is a thunder, and I am set a-wandering, deafened, down twilight tin can alleys and moist sounds. Ooh-wee, baby, look what you could get if your name was Willie. Oh, to dip your words like snuff. A laughter, black and streaming, and I am come a being, rounded, up Baptist aisles, so moaning and moist sounds. Bless her heart, take your bed and walk, you've been heavy burdened. Oh, to lick your love like tears. Okay. So this poem, I really like it because it has, I like how it has two different stanzas, and they both sort of give you a different feeling when you read them, but they both have a nice rhythm that's going while you're reading it. And so when you sit down to read this poem, it's called Black Ode. So it sort of leads you into thinking that this is a poem most likely about the color black, or being an African American, or having black skin. That's sort of where my mind goes, because Maya Angelou is an African American poet. I'm imagining that she's about to take me down a road that has something to do with her writing about her writing this poem dedicated to being black. I don't know. So that's where my mind sort of starts off when I begin this poem. So the first line in this poem is, "Your beauty is a thunder." I love that line. Because usually I feel like when you think of beauty, you think of something visual, and thunder is not visual. Thunder is a sound that is loud, and it's startling, and it's powerful, and it reaches across the sky. It can shake your house during a storm. It just has thunder is a very powerful sound that can happen unexpectedly during a storm. And so she is describing in this Black Ode, this ode to blackness, or to being black. She says, your beauty is a thunder. So your beauty is not just visual, it's a sound, and it's loud, and it's awe-inspiring and kind of like, if you think of thunder, like as a child, it can inspire a little bit of fear, anxiety, awe, wonder when you hear thunder, because it's so outside of us. We don't know. It's not something tangible that you can control. Like, you can't control thunder. She says, your beauty is a thunder, and I am set a wondering, deafened. So here she is in this black ode. I'm guessing it's her as a speaker in this poem, but whoever the speaker is saying, your beauty, maybe your black beauty is a thunder, and I am set a wandering, deafened. So I immediately imagine this loud, like, boom, and then like a person being like, oh my gosh, like that was so loud, like. And so here's this person who has encountered this beauty and experienced it like thunder, and it set them off a wondering, lost, maybe not lost, I don't know, I'm not going to say lost, it's just set them wondering and deafened, like their ears are like, oh my gosh, what just happened? It says, your beauty is a thunder, and I am set a wondering, deafened down twilight tin can alleys. Okay, so, all right, so now we have this ode to black, or a black ode, and she starts it off with this person's beauty being like thunder, and it sort of sets the tone for this whole poem. But in this poem, she separates it into 2 stanzas, and each of these stanzas takes place in a different place. In this first stanza, it's going to take place, this person is wandering down tin can alleys. So, and then in the second stanza, it takes place in a church, Baptist aisles. So I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to try to do this anyway, is I'm going to try to, I'm going to try to create something that I can put up on the screen that we can compare the 2 stanzas of this poem side by side as we walk through the poem, and we can see the contrast of these stanzas and the feeling that is conjured in both of these stanzas, one being in an alley and the other being in a church. So the first line we're going to contrast is, the first little part is, your beauty is a thunder, and I am set a wondering, deafened. Okay, in the second stanza, the beginning is, a laughter, black and streaming, and I am come a being rounded. So this first stanza, she's encountering beauty, and it's like thunder that has set this person wandering and deafened. The second stanza, it starts off with, so the first one you imagine like this beauty that's like thunder. So then in the second stanza, we have a laughter, black and streaming. So to me, laughter, I feel like laughter can sort of be like thunder. You know, when you're talking with somebody and you're joking around, that when they start to laugh, you don't always know when a person is going to bust out laughing or have like hearty, like good laughter. I think that's a cool contrast to imagine beauty that sounds like thunder, and then in the next stanza to have laughter, black and streaming. There is something about laughter that is beautiful and sudden, unexpected, hearty, And I guess it probably could touch a person on the inside the same way that thunder could. But in the first stanza, it leaves her, the beauty. But in the first stanza, it leaves her, the beauty leaves her deafened, and then, but the thunder, the beauty being like thunder leaves her deafened. It's so loud. And then in the second stanza, it's a laughter black and streaming. And instead of it in the first stanza where it sets this person wandering, it sets this person, says, and I come a being rounded. So in the first one, you almost have this sense of being like wandering. You imagine somebody who's like aimless, wandering around. And then the second one, and it says, and I come a being rounded. There's something more whole about it and less lost to me about this second one. And I come, so there's just black laughter, and it says, and I come a being rounded. So you're almost imagining this person who's like whole and full, I don't know, is what I'm imagining. Okay, so we have those two beside each other. We've got the beauty like thunder, the person wandering and deafened. The second one, laughter, black and streaming, and this person being rounded. So then the next line is, it has deafened this person in the first stanza and sent them down twilight tin can alleys and moist sounds. Okay, we'll stop there. Down twilight tin can alleys. So you've heard this, you've seen this beauty that's like thunder, and it's deafened you, and you've gone wandering down tin can alleys. Then in the second stanza, there's this laughter, black and streaming. You have this sense of being, the sense of wholeness, of being rounded. And then this person is sent up Baptist aisles, so moaning. So it's interesting, these two stanzas are, in one, we have a person who's going down a tin can alley, and then another one, we have a person who's going up Baptist aisles, so moaning. And that so moaning is interesting to me. I'm like, why are they moaning? Like, what is this moaning? I don't completely understand that. So we have down twilight tin can alleys, and then we have up Baptist aisles, so moaning. Then the next line in both of these stanzas is the same, and it says, and moist sounds. So your beauty is a thunder, and I am set a wondering, deafened down twilight tin can alleys, and moist sounds. The second stanza, a laughter black and streaming, and I am come a being rounded up Baptist aisles, a moaning and moist sounds. When I hear the word and moist sounds in this poem, for some reason it makes me think of a mouth at first, like somebody who like makes sounds with their mouth. I don't know why, but I don't think that's where this is going. I'm wondering if it has something to do with rain, maybe. I think because it started off with your beauty is a thunder, and you know, thunder is the there's lightning, and then there's thunder, and then there's the storm, there's the rain, and so it has this feeling of a storm coming or rain coming. Yeah, and both of these stanzas have that, whether you're on the tin can alley or whether you're going up the Baptist aisles. There is these moist sounds. What do you think these moist sounds are? Like, I don't know. I'd be very curious. I have absolutely no idea what the right answer is, but for me, when I read it, I'm imagining rain. Okay, so now we're over here on, so we're here on the Tin Can Alley, and the moist sounds have come. This person is wondering, deafened. And then you hear someone speak. This is in quotation marks, and they say, "Ooh-wee, baby, look what you could get if your name was Willie." Okay, and then when we're over here going up the Baptist aisles, moaning, the sound of rain coming, you hear a person speak. This is in quotation marks, and they say, "Bless her heart, take your bed and walk. You've been heavy burdened." So in both of these places, the Tin Can Alley, and you hear a person speak, and then we have the church aisle, the Baptist aisle, and you hear a person speak. And it's like it's giving you a little glimpse into something you would hear someone say in these places. "Ooh-wee, baby, look what you could get if your name was Willie." You start to feel like, okay, who is this speaking on this Tin Can Alley? And my mind goes to imagining, I don't know if this is a reference to something specific, because I know that on the Baptist aisle side, the church side, "Bless her heart, take your bed and walk. You've been heavy burdened." That phrase, "take your bed and walk," is a phrase that's in the Bible that Jesus used whenever he had healed somebody, somebody that like couldn't walk, or that maybe had leprosy or something. He would say, "Okay, now take your mat and get up and walk. You've been healed." So it makes me wonder if on the Tin Can Alley, where it's saying, "Ooh-wee, baby, look what you could get if your name was Willie," if any part of that comes from like a poem or a song or something. I have no idea. If you know, I would love to know if that actually comes from somewhere specific. But I could not find anything that let me know for sure that it did. But it makes you think of that person who's down that alley who's trying to sell you something. And they're like, it makes me think of that, like maybe like a prostitute or a hustler, like somebody's like, "Hey, look what you can get," like, and so we have, on this Tin Can Alley, we have this one person that I'm imagining is like, "Ooh-wee, baby, look what you could get if your name was Willie," like something very like shady. You know what I mean? And then over here on the Baptist aisle, we have someone saying about this person, "Bless her heart, take your bed and walk. You've been heavy burdened." So we have these two spoken moments in this poem. One where you feel like might be like you're about to get hustled, and then the other one is like you're about to get healed. Maybe, I don't know. But I also can't tell the seriousness of the "bless her heart, take your bed and walk, you've been heavy burdened." I can't tell how, if that is like a very serious phrase or if there's any hint of sarcasm in it. I'm not sure, because the phrase "bless her heart" can be used in different ways. Some people can use that phrase in the South in a way that's like, is caring. "Oh, bless her heart." Or it can be used like, "bless her heart." Like very, like not so nice. So I'm not really sure about the genuineness of this phrase in this stanza. I don't know. I feel like it's so frustrating that I like cannot find something to tell me for sure what she's trying to say with this poem. But either way, I guess I'm going to assume that it's not sarcastic for myself at this point. "Bless her heart, take your bed and walk, you've been heavy burdened." This is person going up a Baptist aisle, looking for healing. And then, so then the last line of both of these poems, or both of these stanzas in this poem. On the Tin Can Alley, the last line says, "Oh, to dip your words like snuff." Snuff. My great grandmother actually, she was from Georgia, and I remember going to visit her when I was little, and she would sit on her front porch, and she had a little styrofoam cup. Pretty sure it had like paper towels in it or napkins, and I don't remember how she did it, but I think she would dip snuff and then she would spit in the cup. But the thing that I notice about in each of these stanzas, so in the Tin Can Alley, this person says, "Oh, to dip your words like snuff." So you imagine somebody like putting snuff like down in their cheek or whatever. And it's basically, like dip, or like, it's like a cigarette type of thing that it gives you nicotine. It's addictive, but people really enjoy doing it, who do it. And okay, so in the second stanza, it says, "Oh, to lick your love like tears." So the thing that I noticed about both of these last lines is they both have to do with the person's mouth. So the first one, "Oh, to dip your words like snuff." So that person was just like, "Ooh-wee, baby, look what you could get if your name was Willie." And then, "Oh, to dip your words like snuff." Like, you imagine this person like maybe liking what this person is saying, I don't know, and being addicted to those words, I don't know. But snuff is like dark, tobacco-y, kind of thing that you put in your mouth. And then the last stanza, "Oh, to lick your love like tears." Like, I imagine someone crying and like lick, how like your tears will like run down and you can lick them and they're salty. And it says, "Oh, to lick your love like tears." So you have, in the second stanza, you have this person going up a Baptist aisle moaning. Is it because they're in pain? I don't know. And then this voice that says, "Bless her heart, take your bed and walk, you've been heavy burden." This person who's been healed, maybe. And then it says, "Oh, to lick your love like tears." I don't know. It makes me imagine, I'm like, is this person feeling loved and crying from being healed and like licking their tears? I honestly don't know. But I love the contrast. "Oh, to dip your words like snuff" versus "Oh, to lick your love like tears." So you get this contrast of either like, that Tin Can Alley atmosphere and like this hustler person trying to like sell you something, and then dipping words like snuff. You imagine this like sort of like dark tobacco, like addictive pleasure, like that you, this habit, this thing that you love to do, like dipping snuff. And then on the other side, you have this Baptist aisle, this take up your bed and walk, healing, this heavy burden person, licking love like tears. So I don't know. I guess I don't know what Maya Angelou's point is right off the top of my head as I'm like going through this, because this poem is a black ode. I'm imagining this is like, is this an ode to like black culture? Is this an ode to being black? Is this like something like where she is showing like the contrast of the lives that a black person might lead? Is this a continuous journey of one person where they've wandered down a tin can alley, tempted by that person offering the snuff, the words like snuff, and then they find themselves laughing, streaming, being rounded, going from the tin can alley to the Baptist aisle, and then find themselves being healed and licking love like tears. I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't sure when I was reading this if I'm reading two separate scenarios of a different person to be contrasted, or if it's a one continuous journey of one person to be contrasted, or if it's trying to give a broad picture of the extremes of being Black or of Black culture. I don't know. And I'm totally open to anybody expressing. I'm totally open to hearing your opinions on this. And if you think something I've said is completely ridiculous, that's fine. It's highly possible that I don't know what I'm talking about. But it almost has this feeling of, a one continuous journey, even in the contrast of this person who has experienced the beauty of Black. Your beauty is a thunder. And then they're on this journey and they're set of wandering deafened into tin can alleys where they're being tempted with words that are like that tobacco, that snuff that you carry in your little cheek, and then stumble laughing, coming into being rounded up Baptist aisles, moaning. Are they moaning because of where they've been in the tin can alleys? And then those moist sounds like rain. Bless her heart, take your bed and walk, you've been heavy burdened, oh, to lick your love like tears. And it also makes me wonder if the moist sounds might be tears, that this person, this beauty that's like thunder, set wandering down, deafened down tin can alleys, like, are they crying? Moist sounds. Is there a thunder and then tears? Is it rain in the sky or is it tears? I don't know. Either way, I really love the imagery in this. I love the rhythm. I love the contrast of the two, of the tin can alley with a Baptist aisle. Like, those are very different worlds. And she's related them both to Black, maybe to being Black, this ode to Black. I don't know. It's a very exciting poem. And I would love to hear your thoughts on it, where you think she was actually going with this poem, like what she might have been trying to express. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye.